Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. And as you can see on top, I'm just going through to decode DHCP interview. So the intention is very clearly I have taken in this video 30 important and real-time very frequent asked questions, and if you can answer these questions, definitely you will be able to clear your interview. And guys, before going further in this video, I will tell you about I have already uploaded one separate video on which I have explained about what are the again same like very frequently or very important and very real-time challenging questions, especially in term of DNS. So there are some around 33 questions I have already discussed with real-time situations with examples and all. If you want, you can subscribe, and definitely, because why I'm telling, because I work as a system administrator, senior system administrator, so I have gone through lots of interview and I have seen what kind of questions they may ask and what is the situation. And if you are working as a system administrator, then there will be like DHCP, DNS, group policy and replication. These four are the backbone that you need to clear, and if you can clear all four basically, definitely you will be able to crack your interview. So the intention is the same. So I hope after going through this video you will be able to crack your interview and you will be able to decode DHCP basically. So in this I have taken some around 30 questions. So let me begin with the very first one. Before telling about the questions and answer, I will show you I have Active Directory and I have configured DHCP on that. So I'm just going to DHCP. Let me open DHCP Manager. So it will be very helpful to understand real time. So this is what I have opened here, my DHCP Manager. Okay, and how to install, how to configure, and this is my server 2016 I'm talking about. I have configured on server 2016. This is server 2016, and as you can see, this is india.com is my domain name. Okay, so guys, let me begin with the very first question in this. So the very first question is like, what is DHCP basically? Okay, so what do you mean by DHCP, or how do you define DHCP? So very simple. DHCP, the full form of DHCP is Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, and is a network protocol basically that enables a server to automatically assign IP address to a computer from a defined range of numbers. That is known as scope, configured for given network. So the meaning is very simple. If you want to describe in detail, you can describe in length as well. Like it is a protocol which is given by Microsoft, and it is integrated to your Windows server, and once like it eliminates the work of assigning IP address statically to system. It will assign IP address automatically from server itself. You do not need to go to machine and give IP address one by one. So that is known as one scope. We need to define, we need to configure one scope for that particular network. How to do it, I will show you in couple of slides, and I already have explained in if you want how to install and configure, you can search through my channel. And the next question is, guys, what is the DHCP process for client machine? Very important question, and here the guys will be failed to answer properly. What is the process for client machine? So the process is very simple, that is known as DORA. Okay, it uses DORA process. So as you can see here, one side we have one client, one side we have DHCP server. So DORA stands for discovery, offer, request and acknowledgement. Okay, so what happens, from this side client is willing to take IP address. So what happens in this? So there is a process, complete step by step. So as soon as you go to your here property of your LAN card, and you select take IP address, automatically you go, and here as soon as you select this one, so automatically obtain an IP address automatically. So what happens, this process takes place. So the first step is like discovery. It generates one broadcast 4 times 255 IP subnet marks to discover is there any DHCP server. So this is what discovery of this DHCP server, and this DHCP server, if available on your network, so it will offer, yes, I am the DHCP server, I can offer you one IP address and the rest of information. If you have multiple DHCP server, so whichever is close to your client, that server will offer it IP address. So this is what we call discovery and offer. Now what will happen? So as soon as this offer comes from the server, and that client will say, yes, you can assign me IP address, one IP address, that is known as request to grant IP address or the rest of information along with that IP address. And once this DHCP server has assigned or accepted that request from the client, it will say acknowledgement. So that is known as DORA. We call it discovery, offer, request and acknowledgement. So I have given this IP address and these are the information along with that particular IP address, couple of information. So we will see all those things, all those information in this video itself. So guys, now what is DHCP scope? Very basic thing. So as I show you, I have DHCP. So here you will have to create one scope. So scope is nothing but it is a range of IP address you define for your network, how many IP addresses you want, how many you don't want, or what is your requirement basically. So you can create multiple scope here. Just go to your let me minimize this. So once you go to your DHCP manager, you will get option like this. So whether you are using IP version 4 or IP version 6 here, you can use. So I'm using IP version 4, so I can create one scope here and it will define range. I can give any name like India. I'm giving S India, okay, South India, and this is what I can create here. This is my starting IP address, this is my end IP address, so that is range. And here length, how many IP addresses I'm giving here, and subnet marks. So I'm not creating, I'm just going to which is already created here. This one I have already created. So address pool, I can go, this is what I'm talking about. So I have given 1 to 100 IP address here. Let me go to property of this. Okay, so as you can see here, starting IP address from 172.190.1 to 100. So that is my range, that is called a scope. And here limited means for how many days, how many hours it is, that lease will be, or that IP address will be given to that particular computer, that is known as lease. And here you can define DNS as well, and couple of things like discard any PTR record or when the lease is deleted. So these are the basic things, and you should leave default as much as you can, avoid all those things. And some more things like these all are default. You should not play with all those things because they may cause DHCP failure. So let me move to the next one. The next one is like this is what I told you. What is scope? Scope is nothing but it is a range, okay, of IP addresses. And the next question, like what are the type of scope in DHCP server? So scope is separate thing. Now what are the scope? What are the types of scopes? So how many scopes you can create? So there are basically 3 types of scope you can create. Like one is normal, second one is multicast, and third one is super scope. So you should be able to explain each and everything very clearly. What is the use of normal scope, in which condition we can use it, and multicast, similarly super scope. So there is not a very it is not a very complex thing. It is a very simple, just like I will tell you. So for example, A, B and C class IP address. So in normal scope you can create class A, class B and class C IP address range. And if you are talking about multicast, if you need to create multicast scope, then you will have to use class D network, okay. And multicast scope do not have subnet marks, reservation or other TCP options. So this is a difference between normal scope, subnet mark, multicast scope. But in this there are certain more things like you will have one subnet marks, you will have exclusion and reservation. Each normal scope defined must exist with its own subnet. So the meaning is very simple. Let me show you that DHCP manager once again. This is what actually. So let me just go to property, and once again this is what, okay, you have to give range, and we are talking about scope here. So let me show you scopes. Here only you can see couple of scopes available. For example, new super scope, new multicast scope. You can click on super scope and you can create it. Again, you will have to give name, okay, and this is multicast scope. Here you can have name, description, and couple of things you will have to assign. So guys, if you want how to create super scope, multi scope, you can search from my channel. I have already uploaded in detail all about all those things. So this is what we have in multicast scope, class T network, and multicast scope address range require time to leave, that is TTL, value to specified, essentially the number of routers a packet can pass through on the way to its destination. A couple of things you will have to keep in this multicast scope. So basically we use normal only and super scope. So now what is super scope? So super scope is nothing but it is a collection of multiple group together such that they can be enabled and disabled as a single entity. So the meaning is very simple. It is a group of multiple scope. Why we use super scope? For the redundancy, fault tolerance. For example, you have 200 and more than 200 or 500 computers, so they should be able to take IP address if one scope goes down. So that is the advantage of using super scope. If one scope goes down, still they can take IP address from other scope. That is the advantage of super scope and why we use this super scope. How to create it? Again, you can go to my channel and find it, and here only you will have to go and create super scope. I clicked on multi scope. Before that, you will have to create multiple scope here. Just I'm giving NRYN only, and next this is asking which server you want, and again finish. Now next question, let me move to the next question. You can click, you can see lots of things from here, like this is your super scope, and if you go to this one, just you can have click OK only. Configure failover, this is what you will have to configure here, and partner server. So I'm not talking about much configuration here. And next question is, guys, fifth question, what is authorization DHCP server in Active Directory? So the meaning is very simple here. Authorization is like who is responsible to take care of IP assignment. See, until or unless your DHCP server is not authorized, it will not assign IP address to your computer, client computers, and they will not be able to take IP address or request even to DHCP server. So it should be authorized. So at the time of installation itself, you can authorize it, and you have one more option. You can go to this one, your server, and from here itself you can authorize it or unauthorized. If it is unauthorized, you won't be able to, your system won't be able to take IP address from here, or it will not release. So it should be always authorized, then only you can get IP address. System can get IP address. This is what the concept is about authorizing DHCP. And the next one is, what are the port number for DHCP server and DHCP client? So guys, basically request which is coming from client, it comes on port number 68 UDP, and it replies on port number 67, okay, UDP. Next question, what are the some benefit of using DHCP? So benefits are very simple, like it avoids static configuration, it saves time, it is reliable, and there is no chance of any mistake in subnet marks or gateway. If you are manually assigning to 50 computer, you may miss one IP address here and there, subnet marks here and there. So it is very useful, and it reduces configuration management also. This is what these are the, you can say, benefit of using DHCP server. What is the process of installing DHCP server in AD infrastructure? So this is very simple. You can go to your server manager and manage roles and select DHCP. Follow the instruction is scope and authorization. So you will have to create one scope, then authorization. Just simply go to your server manager here, and here you will have to go to add roles and feature. So I have already added that server. So you can see here what and all roles you have already installed. Select this, select role based, and which server you want to install, and here from here you can select DHCP, and the rest of instruction you will have to follow. Now next question, how to authorize a DHCP server in Active Directory? So the meaning, this question should be answered like, either you can authorize it at the time of installation only. Once you are about to install the role, it will ask to authorize it, or later on also you can authorize by going to your DHCP Manager from here. So these are the two ways you can authorize your DHCP server. The next question is, what is DHCP information? So DHCP information is nothing but, it is a question, what is DHCP inform, not information. So it is a message basically used by client to obtain IP, to obtain DHCP options, okay. And while a point-to-point remote access client do not use, so if you are accessing anything remotely, that time it will not use DHCP to obtain IP address basically, and in that condition this DHCP information will be useful to obtain DNS server IP address, Win server IP address, and DNS domain name. This is the concept of DHCP inform, not information. It is not information. If you are accessing anything remotely, that time your system will not be able to use DHCP protocol. It will use DHCP inform, okay, to obtain DHCP IP address and Wins and DNS domain name. This is the use of DHCP inform. What are the protocol and port does DHCP use? So basically it uses bootp, runs over UDP. If you are using UDP, then it uses bootp protocol, and DHCP itself a protocol, and it uses 67 and 68 port. Next one, can a DHCP server back up another server? Yes, you can have more than two server handling or handing out lease for different addresses. That is what I was talking about. When you go to your this one super scope, you will have to assign secondary server, okay. Configure failover, here you can configure. So it will ask partner server here from here, so you will have to give that partner server IP address and the rest of thing. Yes, it can be backed up. If each has a dynamic pool accessible to the same client, then even if one server is down, they can get IP address. The client can take IP address and lease from other server. Next question, what is the MAC address? So MAC address is also known as physical address, which is like unique for each Ethernet interface. Okay, for example, if you go to this computer network property, you can find it. Let me close this. Just go to status. So here you can find details. This is MAC address here. This one physical address, and from command also you can find it like get MAC command. So it is nothing. It is a physical number of any Ethernet interface, and it is uniquely given to that particular Ethernet. Next question, can DHCP support statically defined addresses? Yes, at least there is nothing like there is no uh, backward thing in this or something like that. Yes, it is supportable. You can assign statically and it will support DHCP. Now next question, how long should a lease be? So what is lease? Basically lease is nothing but it is a duration, how long that system will be having that IP address. So basically it is not 8 hours, it is 8 days. Okay, or you can change it. Here only you can see, like you can go to lease address pool. Just go to property of this one. Okay, this was limited. You can make it 8 days or 8 hours, whatever time you want. You can assign that lease or unlimited also, like that. After that time, that new IP will be assigned to that system, so it will keep changing IP address. Default is 8 days. Next one is, what is DHCP lease? So DHCP lease is nothing but it is a permission to use that IP address, particular IP address. Okay, time duration, for how long it will use that particular IP address. Now how can I prevent an unauthorized laptop using, see, the question is very simple. Someone is coming and connecting to my network by using DHCP, so how can I prevent it? So there is no mechanism available in DHCP server to avoid that kind of, or to prevent that kind of situation. So you will have to use other like mechanism or other technology to prevent that unauthorized laptop from using from your network. So DHCP will not help in this, because DHCP can impose no restriction on what IP address can use a particular port, nor control the IP address used by any client. So what is DHCP's purpose? What is the main purpose of using DHCP? So again, I am telling the same thing. It saves time. Okay, and you can deploy exact information like what should be the range, what should be the network, what should be the DNS, what should be the subnet marks, and it saves time, and it is very easy to maintain larger network. So this is the basic purpose of using DHCP. You can answer by yourself like that. And what is DORA in DHCP? So DORA, I told you, DORA stands for discovery, offer, request and acknowledgement. And DORA means DHCP server lease process short form. So that lease process, that entire process is known as DORA. Next question guys, 20 question, what are the switches used with ipconfig? So what all commands you can use? The very simple thing here, for example, ipconfig all, release, renew and flush DNS. So these are the very basic commands or utility you need to use at the time of troubleshooting. Renew, release, you can use to renew new IP address, release new IP address, to check what and all IP address, what is the IP, configuration by using this command of your computer. So it will give you complete detail, like Ethernet adapter, what IP address it is using. As of now it is using IP version 4, and I have manually given IP address. So a couple of things you can collect from there. Similarly you can run that command like renew and release also here. Flush DNS, just go back and renew. So as of now I'm not using DHCP, so it may not work. Okay, and the next question is, what is DHCP automatic backup default interval? So every 60 minutes it happens, that interval time is 60 minutes. Okay, now next question, 22nd, which is what is DHCP data file extension? So the extension is .mdb. Okay, next question, what is DHCP database storage default location? So it comes under C, Windows System 32 and DHCP. When you can go here and check it, computer, C drive, Windows System 32 and search DHCP, click DHCP. Let me go back. So this is the location of DHCP. Okay, and here again backup and couple of files will be installed or will be stored. Next question, guys, what is boot P? So boot P is basically bootstrap protocol, is a host protocol, host configuration protocol. It is developed by DHCP only. And 25th question, what is purpose of agent relay agent? So DHCP relay agent is any host that forward DHCP packet between client and server if server is not on the same physical subnet. So this is the role of agent, relay agent. Basically, if your server is not on the same physical subnet, so they will help, this relay agent will help to forward DHCP packet between client and servers. Next question, what is the reason of getting APIPA IP address? Very simple question, very common question. So getting APIPA IP address is just like if your DHCP server is not able to assign IP address and accept that request from client. In that condition, client will take one IP address by automatically, that is known as APIPA, and that is the only reason why system take APIPA IP address by itself. And now next question, similarly, what is the range of APIPA? So APIPA range is 169.254.0.1 through 169.254.255.254. this is the IP address, and it also configure with class B default subnet mask, which is 255.255.0.0. And the next question is, what is DHCP decline message? So this decline message is sent by client to server indicating network address is already in use. If you have assign one IP address to some system, so in that condition it will tell this IP address is already used. So the same IP address cannot be given to two machine. In that condition, this decline message will be sent by client. Next question, what are the information a DHCP server can provide to a host? So now if that DHCP server is providing IP address to your client, so what all information he will be, that the DHCP server will be giving. So the IP address is one, second one is subnet mask, default gateway, domain name server, and wins information. So these are the information will be given to that particular client from DHCP server. Next question, can DHCP server with can DHCP server with Apple Talk or IPX? No, it is too tied to IP. It is not possible that DHCP server can work with Apple Talk and all. They have their separate mechanism to fulfill this requirement. So guys, in this video, this much information only. And if you feel this video is helpful, don't forget to subscribe channel, comment on this video, share this video, like this video. And for DNS, you can go to my channel and you can search that video also. And the next video I will be talking about troubleshooting replication, what are the questions they ask in the interview, and a couple of more things. So keep in touch and don't forget to subscribe channel. Till then, bye bye. And before going further, let me show you a couple of more things in this DHCP. So apart from that, what we can do, we can back up a DHCP server, we can restore, we can delete, and we can even add and remove bindings, all tasks we can do from here. So they may ask you couple of more things from here, and you can just have here policies we can create. If you want new policy like this, you'll have to give name and rest of things. I'm not doing anything. Apart from this, reservation, you can create a reservation. Okay, new reservation, you can assign reservation name and IP address and MAC address of that computer on that device only. Okay, supported type like both DHCP or boot P. Apart from that, this is address lease information. Okay, view scope options, you can see, you can configure even this one. So guys, these are the basic information, basic things like configure failover, I told you, replicate failover scopes, and define. These are I have not used. Reconcile all scopes. So this option is used to fix the inconsistency between multiple scopes if you have created. So if you click this reconcile all scopes, it will fix that problem. It will check, or if any problem is there, it will fix this option. So I have not taken in this video, I mean, any question, but this you should be knowing. And so guys, in this video this much only. Wait for my next video. Till then, bye bye.